Yo, and welcome to the series where we will be taking my dad's E46 M3 and getting it track ready. Whoa. I hear you barking, big dog. And is it manual? That's the first question. And the answer is, well, yeah, it's gonna be. It was automatic. I mean, if you guys know, the SMG is a just mechatronic shifted. Get you guys out of here. Little unit. So what exactly are we doing? We are ditching these mechatronics where you would see it takes a signal, boom, it's moving things, you know, the little elves inside the transmission make things work. So we got down, we're treading out the machine power, we got down man power. Pointing at this pedal, let's talk about a little bit about what's in front of me and how really this swap is super easy if you just follow a couple things. Hop online, go to AMS Auto Group, and then you're gonna buy their conversion kit. It's that simple. Really for this one, we got pretty lucky because there was a pretty smart dude who loves this platform and already put everything together for you. There's not much for you to do. Anything else that you want to do is going to be, you know, while you're in there type deal, and you know, there's other stuff that goes to it, but you know, it's not going to be necessary for the swap. Is it going to be nice to do? Yeah, and we'll get to that later and what parts that I think that you should do while you're in there. But really, the fuck do I know? So, moving on from that, we have the other parts that I think that you should do while you're in there, and what it's missing. Really, they'll have everything except for a clutch kit. So, you know, you're going to have to get that clutch kit separately. All the rest of these things are just kind of things that replaced while we were in there. You know, it was going to be nice. With these bolts in front of me, I didn't notice that there was a revised bolt. So, as you see, it's not threaded all the way down. Or, it is threaded all the way down. But it's not threaded all the way up, I suppose. Why do that? Why are these updated? Why do that? Really, it makes it easier on the bell housing. I just know that, you know, bolts threaded all the way up can kind of ream out the holes that they're in, potentially. So, more surface area of contact. Going to be easier on the bell housing. Try to make things easy on things because, you know, we want to beat on them. So, that's nice. The rest of this stuff, all these little springs and detents and all this stuff is also for this swap. So we have the right here, right? And when you go into gear or it pops back out, you know that feel, whether it be super notchy, whether it be, you know, loosey-goosey, whatever. That is because there are actual little springs and whatnot that either gate it and allow it to either, you know, pop in nice and, you know, you give you a nice audible, like, you know, kind of click, you know. I recommend rebuilding this, but, you know, don't forget this. And then, of course, with the clutch, we have the throwout bearing. And then just walking down, we have the output shaft. We have the crank. I believe this is the, rear main crank seal. And then the guide sleeve, which, if we walk back over here, is this thing. You could leave it, right? But, you know, as you see, it does make some contact with things, and, you know, we're going to be replacing that. That's the throwout bearing. This clutch pivot fork, I guess. I also replaced that. Is that super necessary? Probably not. Probably could have used that one and been just fine. I'll show you the contacts actually on the other side. Really, this thing is slippery. 1, 2, you can see, I mean, it's not like it's deformed by any means. I mean, definitely is making contact right there, but how much is that really affecting things? Negligible, I'm sure. A steel pivot pin, because this twin disc clutch is going to put a lot of pressure on things. So this is normally nylon or like a plastic. They have a brass one as well. Brass, if you guys don't know, brass is in fact softer than steel. What does that mean? That means this is harder. This is going to be able to sustain impact better and not just absolutely mushroom. This is a pilot bearing, wrapped up real nice. The box was smashed. That's fine. The gasket that also goes behind the rear main housing, so that you'll also need that, or at least I recommend doing that. Remember that all the things on this table, like mostly everything from right here down, unnecessary, necessary. Okay, excellent. One last time, just because this man really does deserve his flowers, a huge shout out to Derek at AMS Auto Group, who is the guy who puts all this stuff together and, you know, like I said, is making it possible for, you know, anybody to really do this even at home. You know, you chip them your bell housing and stuff. But huge shout out him, man, especially because I went and bugged him at his shop, you know, and talked his ear off for a while. So great dude, definitely couldn't recommend him more. If you know, just speaking as somebody who can appreciate things at a high level, he does things at a very high level. So, you know, if you're in Washington and you're wanting to get any of this done, or, you know, you have a E46 yourself and, you know, you want fabrication, any of that stuff, you know, you want it taken care of, I could not recommend him enough. I know he would get you taken care of and squared away for sure. So huge shout out him, and I'll check you guys out in the next video where we'll actually be, you know, having this stuff organized and labeled, and we'll be going into how to actually, or how I'm actually doing it. May not be the proper way or whatever have you, but this is how I'm doing it. So stay tuned.